talk a little bit about what Game 3 was all about. So, Golden State. People want to say that Steph Curry had help last night. That like Iguodala's an all-star player, a Finals MVP. They just throw out Finals MVP. He had a couple of threes back in 2015. He's a role player, period, and he's getting older. He's like 36 years old. Really old player, never really been able to shoot that well. Draymond Green's not a scorer either. So they act like Draymond is not the perfect fit. They would have been actually better just if Klay was there. If Draymond does help, but you would take a Klay over Draymond with Steph Curry in that offense. Jerebko, guys like Sean Livingston. Sean Livingston's also really old. Andrew Bogut. McKinney is not a great shooter at all. So the Warriors, I mean, what team could lose their best, two players? Or what team can lose two of their best three players or three of their best five, because you look at a Kevon Looney and still function. It's not a Bob Myers problem. It just Kevon Looney would have also helped. If Kevon Looney was in, they might have won that game last night. They still battled Golden State. They were still there at times last night, but Quinn Cook, he's not the answer. So Steph Curry was valiant last night. But Toronto is a damn good basketball team. Even with Klay Thompson in this lineup, Toronto might end up winning this thing. Toronto could be a dynasty. They could win 2 or 3 championships out here with Kawhi Leonard if he were to run it back. He's that good of a player, Kawhi Leonard. But also Freddie stepped up, Danny Green. There was no way the Warriors could beat that team if Danny Green's going to also go off and hit 6 threes, if Kyle Lowry's going to pour in 23 points as well. There's no way. The Golden State needed Toronto to screw up. Toronto didn't mess up at all. Golden State probably should have slowed the game down a little bit. I'll tell you, Quinn Cook needed to be a lot better for Golden State to win last night. But really looking at Toronto is filthy good. It's not just that Golden State is now decimated. Toronto is an unbelievable basketball team, and they can win the title next year. They're gaining that confidence. Serge Ibaka was huge. Last night when the Raptors needed key buckets, Serge Ibaka was able to provide them with 2 huge plays. Danny Green, of course, we highlighted over. He's just a guy that's built for the moment that's just going to bang in threes. But 6, when he hits 6 threes, it's damn hard to beat the Toronto Raptors. Pascal Siakam making plays. So if Klay comes back, you can utilize his defense. It'll be a heck of a Game 4. I think that Golden State wins Game 4. And then Game 5, if Kevin comes back, the series is all about Game 5. It's all going to come down to Game 5 in Toronto. The home court that Toronto has is really setting a different precedent for the series. That actually makes the regular season more valuable, I believe, that now they get the home team in the NBA Finals. That makes the situation a lot more valuable. But Golden State was just outmanned, and Toronto played fantastically. Golden State needs to get out to the shooters a little bit. You need to make Kawhi Leonard beat you. Don't double Kawhi Leonard. And also with Danny Green, just force him to dribble. Kyle Lowry forces up bad shots early in the shot clock. With the pace that Toronto still plays at, Golden State's going to have their chance. And if Klay can get you 27 or 28, I doubt Toronto wins Game 4. I see a long, long series. But Toronto's an unbelievable basketball team. Really an awesome team. And people talk about Golden State as if Golden State had one of the greatest teams of all time. When they went 73-9. And that, frankly, is not true one bit, because Golden State, when Golden State went 73-9, the Thunder almost beat the Golden State Warriors. The Thunder should have beaten them in that damn series. The Thunder are up 3-1. Is that one of the greatest teams of all time? They were just going to lose willingly to a they were just going to lose willingly to a Thunder team. Is that your greatest 70? The regular season doesn't matter at all. Is that one of your greatest wins of all time? Your 73 win, Oklahoma City Thunder team? Is that one of your greatest teams of all time? And Steph Curry, it's time to start giving Steph Curry some respect. Everybody's out here hating on Steph Curry, saying that that he's soft and that every time Steph screws up, I do admit that they do have a point, the people who hate on Steph, because the media does overprotect Steph Curry. They do overprotect Curry. Like when Steph's screwing up, he's sick, he's hurt in this instance and that instance. But he's one of the greatest shot creators we've ever seen. Pound for pound, I think he's the greatest basketball player of all time with his skills. LeBron James, 6'8", Mack truck, incredible. Shaq, incredible, 7 feet tall. A beast. Maybe Kobe Bryant, pound for pound, but Steph Curry I would still take. Dribbling ability, passing ability, everything ability, Steph Curry. Incredible. Steph Curry is the guy. Can't stop the guy. 3-point shooting, passing, most skilled player probably in NBA history. You can look at LeBron James, the passer, Magic Johnson, his grace, Wilt Chamberlain. Steph Curry, though, 6'3", has no real advantages. He's the most skilled player probably of all time with the passing and everything that he does. Also the most humble. You look at Iguodala, say, I want to win one for Steph Curry. That's what it's all about. So, Golden State, these NBA Finals. The Kyle Lowry thing, I agreed with suspending that guy like a year because that's a very hard punishment, suspending a guy a whole year. It's not like the NBA's acting like this is an epidemic. I know what happened with Russ Westbrook in Utah a couple times, but it's not like people that get thrown to the first row. It's not like they're shoving him every time, and it wasn't even that bad of a shove. If he punched the guy, hit him in the face, slapped him, it should be 5 or 10 years. But it was it was a nudge. It was a little shove. He said something to him. He was acting immature. He's probably drunk as hell. And the thing is, too, Golden State was getting their ass pounded by Toronto. The guy was pissed off. It's one of the last games at Oracle. Depressed guy, probably. So, the guy is a little bit depressed, Guy fires in. Emotions get heated in the moment. Again, things get heated in the moment. Suspended him an entire year. That's a harsh punishment. And it's not like people are going to do this again. But banning him his entire life for doing this, I think that would have been a little bit harsh. I really do. Banning guys. Everybody wants to ban guys forever. Just ban them, ban them, ban them. If the guy would have punched him, 10, 15 year maybe, but I mean, you got to look at the push too. And it's not like his arm was altered by that push. But it's a year suspension. There's no way. That's a harsh suspension, especially since they're going to the new arena. That is really harsh. Not being able to see NBA Finals game. That's and $500,000. I know the guy is a billionaire guy. It's almost $1 million over that push. It's not like it's a good punishment in the sense that who the hell is going to do the pushing anyway? And it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Pushing in the NBA is not a problem. It's not like fans are doing this all the time. The guy was just one guy that was acting like a punk last night, that fan. But it's not like it's becoming an epidemic. Maybe the players feel like it is an epidemic, but it's really not when you look at the grand scheme of things. Okay? So when we look at the rest of the series, I still like Golden State because Klay Thompson's coming back. But Steph Curry should be valued and cherished. People don't like Steph Curry. They think he's soft for some reason. I love Steph Curry. I love how humble he is off the floor. The guy really hasn't changed a lot since Davidson. Yeah, the guy has fun, does dancing and stuff. That's all. He's playing basketball for a living. He can have a little bit of fun, all right? So, love Steph Curry. And for Golden State, one of the most likable dynasties ever. I mean, Boogie Cousins was bad last night. Boogie Cousins, he really derailed Sacramento. He's matured. I think he's matured a lot in Golden State. Very, very hurt. Played awful last night. I wouldn't give him a max deal whatsoever. Draymond Green, very valuable. Toronto did a brilliant job at not letting Draymond get into those open threes. Their defense, their boxing one, Nick Nurse. You can argue Nick Nurse is now almost better than Brad Stevens. Nick Nurse, one of the best coaches in the NBA. Kawhi Leonard and this Toronto team. Wow. This is a basketball team. This is an elite basketball team. The Toronto Raptors. Elite. So It's a very good series. I still got Golden State winning this series. Steph Curry, an all-time performance for the ages. I mean, that guy was everywhere last night. One of the greatest shot creators, pound for pound, one of the greatest players that we've ever seen for his size and everything. He's probably a top 8 player already of all time. He's the greatest shooter ever. He's probably one of the greatest passers ever. And ball handling wise, he's top 10. So in the 3 categories, passing, shooting, and ball handling, the guy's like top 8 in like every single category. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous player. Ridiculous all-time amazing player. He would have been great probably anywhere. Ridiculous player. And also pissed off in a loss too. Scores 47, he doesn't care. He only cares about winning the game.